there's just a stream that wants to express itself. So just keep making videos. I have no idea what I'm about to say, but there's this one part of my journey that for so long I have been so reluctant to face. When I was a small kid, when I was a child, I'd gone through a lot of trauma. I'd gone through abuse, neglect. I'd gone through I'd gone through not feeling connected to my mother, not knowing my father. One of my first memories is actually my mother who was in the kitchen. She's being tied up with her hand, and as a kid I'm watching, and her hand is being tied to the stove and it's hot. I'm seeing that and I want to untie her, I want to help her. And so then I walk over and I untie her, and my father, but apparently it was my stepfather, he takes me, he tells me to stop it, takes me to the next room, he takes my head and he starts hitting my head against the ground, and then my head is going like this, like this, like this, and I don't feel the pain, but I see it happening. I see my small sister crying or laughing. I saw her, and there was just this thought like, why is this happening? I didn't understand why it was happening. And there was a whole plethora of experiences that were just they were very tough for the child that I was. And growing up, that child was always with me. And it's only when I was about 20, 21, 22, 23 that I started to acknowledge the pain that was there, that I started to acknowledge the neglect, the needs, and I started to understand that I needed to take care of myself. I needed to nurture myself. I needed to forgive, because there was suppressed anger, there was suppressed emotion, there was suppressed hurt and blame and confusion, so much confusion. I never understood why this happened to me. I never understood why I had gone through what I had gone through. And there was this moment where I just started to see my child, to acknowledge him, and to make a connection with him, to understand the place that he plays in my life, in the experience of life. Playing, exploring, adventure, fun, creativity, exuberance, immersion, risking, but there was so much trauma, and after some of the trauma was looked at, after a lot of forgiveness work, a lot of recontextualization work, a lot of looking at situation with an open heart and You know, when you, for the first time, when you look at those situations, so much tears come up. Because it's like this tender place in your heart, and you have these memories, and you just feel it's like this soft, tender wound. And it hasn't been taken care of for a long time, but you feel the tenderness of it. You feel just by pressing gently on it that there's a sensitivity. It's so sensitive, and it needs real care, and it's been needed for so long. So you have to be gentle with yourself, and you have to go through the process of feeling the pain that you didn't want to feel, of seeing the situations that you wanted to run away from, that you didn't want to see, that you didn't want to face, to immerse yourself into what you thought had happened, to feel those feelings, and to then see, once you go through that, see it from another perspective, see it from love, see everything from love. What I'm saying right now, it's not a 1, 2, 3 process. It's a very gradual thing where you can make waves, you can make movements, but sometimes you fall back. You can take 2 steps forward, 10 steps back. You can hit a certain point. Like I remember hitting certain points, and the pain would just come out, and I would need time to integrate it, to let everything come up, because there's a certain kind of capability or a resilience that's needed to either be developed, or a certain kind of courage that you need to be able to go through all of that. I remember listening to the book of Pema Chodron. She's a Buddhist monk, and the way she spoke about everything, it touched me so deeply, to have a loving kindness in your heart for yourself in the first place, then for people you know, then for people you don't know, and then for people you don't like. I had done a lot of mindfulness work before that, but here I was doing hard work, or I was consciously trying to seek the boundaries of where I could show my heart, where I could put my heart. And for a long time, I wasn't able to see others like I saw myself, because I had never seen myself. I had never loved myself. So there's this metaphor that I really love. It's really beautiful. It's your heart, or that place where love is streaming through. It can get frozen. Like a lake, it can get frozen. It becomes hard ice. It stops moving, becomes cold. But the beautiful thing about it is, when the seasons change, when the atmosphere changes, when the sun shines through, the same ice can become water again, or can even become warm damp, and it can evaporate. So it's never permanent. It's never permanent. There's always a possibility for it to transform. Another teacher of mine said, whatever happened to us is not our responsibility, right? But our responsibility is to transform with whatever happened to us, with whatever we're carrying with us, to transform that, to heal that. That is our responsibility. And I think that's true because going through life, it's only by allowing myself to transmute the pain that was there that I started to be able to live again, that I started to feel again, that I started to feel others again. Because for a long time I had been closed off from myself, from my heart, from love. And so I was closed off from everybody. Every interaction, every meeting that I had was always superficial. It was always on the surface. There was no depth in it. And the moment you break through that depth and you discover how the glacier, the frozen water, how it melts, and you start to feel the melting in your heart, and you relax and you feel embraced by life, you start to feel alive again. You understand the value of having gone through that. You understand that it was not all for nothing. It was not to victimize you. It was not to punish you. From the way I lived through it, it was to allow me the gift of healing myself, of coming into alignment with myself and loving myself. If it was there from the start, that would be wonderful. That would be great. But would I then be able to relate to other people who are suffering, who have gone through suffering, who have gone through pain, who have gone through trauma? I don't know. I don't know if I could. Maybe I could. Maybe from a loving place you can. But because I have that experience, because I have those processes, because I've gone through that, because I've dedicated myself to that, because I value that, because I felt the difference of before and after, because because it happened, I can relate when I see other people who are at the same spot. I can see what they have to go through. I can see what choices they have. I can see that everybody's so courageous. Everybody just wants to be happy. And wherever you are, it's fine. It's really fine. I'm at this point right now in my life where I've gone through a lot of healing work, self-healing work, self-forgiving work, self-acceptance work. Sure, maybe there's still a lot more to do, but going through all that, I'm at this impasse right now where I understand that to go beyond, right? To go beyond a certain kind of identity, I need to let go of what happened to me. I need to let go of my identification with being that victim who healed. I'm someone who was that and then healed himself and now is healed or integrated or incorporated, all of that, and is aware of those stuff. Because there's still this point of this fixation, as if I am that. But that is just what's happened. And in a way, it's keeping that identity stuck. That's how it feels to me. Because that point of view, that identity is still working, perceiving, acting out, wanting to explore, to expand further. And it's keeping me trapped in a way, because there was this opportunity some time ago to leave my inner child, to understand that it's not my responsibility to leave it to nature, to love, to God, to earth. And when I left my inner child, I felt such a pain, because in the years before, I had tried to save him, I had tried to take care of him, to heal him, and now I had to leave him? Why? Because I have to embody the adult energy. I have to embody the adult in me that is wanting to move on, to move beyond what happened, to move beyond the identity, to move beyond the feelings or the situations that are unresolved or need to be resolved or need to be redeemed, to move beyond that, to create what wants to be created through me, to live and allow life to pass through me, unencumbered, unobstructed. So for me, that's like the impasse. There's this fear: if I leave my inner child, then the wild side of me, the funny side of me, the humorous side of me, it's not gonna be there anymore. And if it's not there anymore, if I don't have that anymore, I won't have this connection to fun, to play, to laugh, to lie, to do everything that a child does. So there's this fear of losing that connection to feel alive a certain kind of way, because that's the way I learned to live. That's the way I learned to express myself. First, it was very suppressed. Then there were breaking boundaries. Then there was expression with what was, and learning, seeing, trying. And now I understand there's a chance, an opportunity to go beyond that, to go beyond the identity of me having healed, me having the inner child, me taking care of the inner child, me going on this journey, but actually embodying the energy, which is energy without any label or any kind of residue from the past on it, which is pure, clear, bright essence. When essence is there, there's just clarity. And the life that's unfolding is so harmonious, so graceful, because it's not obstructed by your own personal story, by your own personal what do you call it? Your own personal hiccups, right? Spots where you can clutch onto. So yeah, I know a process where I can do that. Like leave my inner child and leave that responsibility, leave that identification, and I'm gonna go through it in a couple of weeks and just embrace the the sobriety of it all. I love there's this story of Adyashanti. He says, you know, when you're awake, when you wake up, it's as if you're sitting in this bar and you see everybody at the bar is drinking, right? And you're still there, but you're not drinking anymore. You got sober. You see everybody's drinking, but you're not drinking. But the thing is, you have to stay at the bar. You stay at the bar, you stay in the bar, you communicate with people. You spend your time there, but you don't drink anymore. Recently, I met somebody online through YouTube, actually. I had made a video about inner dance. And in inner dance, while facilitating, she wrote a comment, and I asked her to call for a Zoom meeting, and we talked. I put the interview online, actually. It's one of the earlier videos. And these last couple of weeks, we've gotten to know each other. And immediately, there was such a easy click. You know, when things just click together, like, I didn't feel like I was trying. I didn't feel like I was needing. I didn't feel like there was something, some intention. The moment we started to talk and we started to communicate, there was just this continuous flow and outpouring of love, friendship, and goodness, and such gentleness, such kindness. I remember in the past, whenever I would express love or kindness or softness to somebody, and sometimes I would receive it also back, but sometimes I wouldn't. And there was always this feeling in me. I never expressed it fully. I wish that somebody would embrace me with the same warmth, kindness, and compassion that I do. And it's so unexpected, but when I met this person, I just felt that all of a sudden, like, little by little, I started to see, like, holy moly, we're speaking the same language. Like, we're just speaking and we're in the same wavelength. And we're kinda in the same stage of our evolution or our development. There's so many, not completely, but there's so many similarities. There's so much understanding without knowing it, like non-verbal understanding and communion. And I felt such a deep appreciation for her, such a deep love. And I was just like, wow, where did this come from? And to my surprisement, she started to feel it towards me as well. There was just this friendship, this true friendship of kindness and care and support and goodness that was apparently there. And looking at her journey, following her journey, I'm so inspired that somebody is so courageous in following their truth, going through their layers, wanting to embody that truth, wanting to live totally.